the headlines. Ukraine's president says his troops will continue defending Bakhmut as Russian mercenaries complain they don't have enough ammunition. 1 month on from the devastating earthquakes in Turkey and Syria, thousands are still living without proper shelter.
Having no electricity is a big problem. The fear, it's too big. All night long there are non-stop aftershocks. It's so hard to sleep.
Migrants arriving in the UK in small boats would be banned from ever returning under new plans by the British government. Refugee charities say that the proposals are unfair and unworkable. And we meet the team behind The Elephant Whisperers, the Indian documentary hoping to win at Sunday's Oscars.
Fury from the parents of hundreds of Iranian schoolgirls who've been victims of suspected poisonings. The legacy of Japanese boy band mogul Johnny Katagawa is examined in a new BBC documentary, including multiple allegations of sexual abuse.
Welcome to a place that is astonishing.
And the wonders of the natural world. For the first time ever, Sir David Attenborough looks at Britain's wildlife.
Mexican officials have found over 340 people in an abandoned truck in the state of Veracruz. 103 of them were children. The migrants were from Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and Ecuador. There was no sign of the driver. Officials said that the trailer was fitted with ventilation and fans and air vents. The migrants will be cared for by Mexican social services until their status is decided. London's Metropolitan Police have apologized for missing opportunities to arrest one of their officers before he killed Sarah Everard. Wayne Couzens, who is already serving a whole life sentence, was jailed for 19 months for exposing himself to women on 3 occasions, one of them when he was on duty.
Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan will face a single opponent in May's presidential election after opposition parties agreed on a joint candidate. Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu leads the secular Republican People's Party. Polls are suggesting a tight race. A court in Belarus has sentenced an exiled opposition leader, Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, to 15 years in jail in her absence. Ms. Tikhanovskaya fled Belarus in 2020, having stood against the country's authoritarian leader, Alexander Lukashenko, in presidential elections that she's widely thought to have won. France is preparing for widespread strikes on Tuesday as workers' unions step up their fight against President Macron's plans to move the age of retirement to 64. Most trains will be brought to a halt and schools will close. Air traffic and power generation will also be affected. It's the 6th day of nationwide industrial action since mid-January. A former beauty queen and her partner, who fled Spain after stealing 45 bottles of fine wine, have both been jailed for 4 years. The wine was valued at $1.7 million. After a 9-month police hunt across Europe, they were arrested at the Croatian border and returned to Spain.
An unmanned rocket launched by the Japanese Space Agency has self-destructed shortly after it was launched in the early hours.
Main engine start.
The flagship H-3 rocket, Japan's first medium-lift spacecraft for 30 years, launched successfully, but its second stage engine failed to ignite and it was ordered to self-destruct. The setback follows a series of delays and aborted launches.
All that effort, all that money.
Such a shame when that happens.
They try again.
Yeah.
Have another one.
Always next
somewhere.
time.
There we go, there it goes.
Hanging around somewhere.
Yeah, there's always a spare one in the cupboard somewhere.